Welcome to MonkeyByte.
Welcome to MonkeyByte. I'm Sky.
And I'm Blue. Fun fact, this entire show is researched, written, and produced by AI. Let's get into it.
The chip war isn't just about who shouts the loudest anymore. It's about who can actually trust the numbers they're throwing around.
Here's the thing though. Google's TPU v6 is reportedly eating Nvidia's lunch on energy efficiency, cutting it by 40% in specific inference tasks. It's basically actually, think of it more as a specialized kitchen where the chef knows exactly how to cook without burning the house down, whereas standard chips just throw everything into the fire.
But wait, really? If the hardware is winning, why is the ASMR bench study from last week suggesting the benchmarks themselves might be leaking data across 17 different fields?
That's the part that gets me. We're seeing raw compute power lose its crown because the research integrity is crumbling. It's like building a Ferrari on a foundation made of wet sand. The engine doesn't matter if the ground shifts under you.
So basically, the narrative is shifting from simple hardware supremacy to a complex ecosystem where software intelligence and research integrity are just as crucial as raw compute power. That actually ties into the bigger picture of what we need to demand from our tech giants before we celebrate another breakthrough. The shift from GPT-4.1 to GPT-5. 4Cyber feels like finally getting a car with an autopilot that actually drives. We're talking agentic workflows that handle manufacturing and complex logistics without human babysitting. It's the moment AI moves from chatbot to doer, solving real-world problems at scale while pushing boundaries in lower-source languages like Nigerian Pidgin.
Okay, but here's what nobody's talking about. Does the math actually work? OpenAI is under existential scrutiny regarding acquisitions and California's new laws. While they hype 3D generative models for VR, the core tension is between autonomous agents and societal pushback. Remember, Chinese tech workers are training AI doubles to replace themselves, and Palantir's ideological stance is controversial. We need to ask if this acceleration is sustainable or just a bubble.
That's interesting. You're right about the regulatory headwinds, but the NAJA S6 dataset shows real progress in inclusivity. LaviGen also achieves 19% higher physical plausibility in 3D layouts. That actually ties into the hardware side too. All phones sold in the EU must have replaceable batteries starting in 2027, which impacts how we design these AI edge devices. So basically, the tech is evolving faster than the rules.
You know what? You might have a point there. The hardware mandates force a rethink on edge computing anyway. It's basically actually, think of it more as a forced evolution. If the models are this good at manufacturing, maybe the regulatory friction is just the growing pain of a necessary shift. We just need to make sure the math holds up when the hype fades.
Fair enough, it's a messy transition, but the potential for good is undeniable. Whether it's better batteries or smarter agents, the future is built on these compromises. Thanks for keeping us grounded, Blue. Adobe just dropped a new AI suite, but the real story isn't about generating art. It's about auditing your models for sabotage before they hit production.
Here's the thing though, the hype machine is screaming efficiency. But does the math actually work when data leakage is already documented in hundreds of papers? Think of it like hiring a contractor who secretly copies your blueprints before they even start building. The recent departures from the AI nuclear sector prove that headwinds are real, not just a narrative. We need tools that verify integrity, not just flashy demos.
That actually ties into the bigger picture of liability. If your agents are distilling a colleague's personality to cut costs, who owns the soul of that workflow? We'll wrap up with how this impacts the manufacturing floor. Big news from the lab. AI just found 2 real drug candidates for Leigh syndrome using brain organoids. It's the kind of breakthrough that usually takes decades, but we're seeing it happen in months now.
Here's the thing though, the hype machine loves to call this a revolution. But does the math actually work? We're moving from theoretical modeling to tangible cures, which is wild. Think of it like a librarian who doesn't just find books but writes new ones on the spot. The LaviGen framework is 65% faster at generating coherent scenes, proving the tools are finally ready for the clinic.
That actually ties into how the whole ecosystem is maturing with models like QN3. 6 Max Preview. Okay, so basically, we aren't just analyzing data anymore. The agents are actively identifying viable treatments. It feels a bit like catching up with an old friend who finally solved a problem we've been stuck on for years. India isn't just a testing ground anymore. It's becoming a serious revenue engine. With CSR spending up 23% and 3 out of 4 global leaders doubling down on AI, the market signals are undeniably green. We're finally seeing ethical considerations merge with economic viability in a way that actually works.
Okay, but here's what nobody's talking about. That optimism ignores the regulatory tightening. New PAN rules for transactions and the H-1B visa fraud scrutiny are creating friction right now. It's basically actually. Think of it more as a high-stakes gamble where the math might not hold up if talent pipelines get choked.
That's interesting. You're right about the friction. But look at the data leakage issues documented across 17 scientific fields. That's a global problem, not just an India-specific one. If we ignore the regulatory noise, we miss the bigger picture of where the real value lies.
You know what? You might have a point there. The global shift is real, even if the local hurdles are annoying. It's not a perfect storm, just a messy one. We need to scale carefully without pretending the regulatory headwinds don't exist.
So basically, we're balancing ambition with caution. That actually ties into the broader conversation about sustainable tech growth. Let's keep the conversation going while we figure out the next move. Nano Banana 2 is finally here, promising to mash together deep reasoning with instant response times. It feels like getting a PhD-level consultant who also texts back in under a second.
Think of it like hiring a brilliant architect who can also hammer a nail before you blink. But here's the thing though, does the math actually work when we scale this? We're seeing agentic workflows everywhere, from creative suites to factory floors, yet the foundation is shaky. Recent papers show data leakage undermining claims in dozens of fields, and if our benchmarks are faked, what are we really building on?
That actually ties into the bigger worry about research integrity right now. If the data is compromised, the speed doesn't matter. Still, if the tech holds up, this could finally make enterprise AI feel less like a black box and more like a reliable tool. We are profoundly grateful for your time and attention today. Together, we have navigated the intricate landscape of current market dynamics, dissected the latest regulatory frameworks, and explored the emerging frontiers of sustainable technology. Thank you for being part of this essential dialogue.
From a technical standpoint, the data streams we analyzed reveal critical latency patterns that demand immediate architectural attention. If you found this deep dive analysis valuable, please like and subscribe to unlock our exclusive repository of granular technical breakdowns and advanced predictive modeling.